you hiding here in the near clear blue?
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
What?
Hey, the Pro Show is on!
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Brian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay.
I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
Alright, everyone, put on your puppy glasses. Oh boy,
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom.
From the redwoods of California, to the hills of Tennessee, to the Rockies in the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, It's the WDW Pro Show! Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
And ladies and gentlemen, with that roundhouse kick, it's time to head straight into the best hump day you've ever seen, bumping and grooving and moving to the sound of success. Lauren Connor is with us right now, and we are just about to top over 300 of the finest, best looking, best smelling, smartest, and most generous people on the planet. Lauren, do not use your skepticism face right now. It's not the time.
Okay.
Just go with it. Go with the flow, Lauren. It's what your proctologist said. I agree. There you go. Hey, Lauren, we've got, we like to be honest around here. We've been called pro honesto in the past, and, well, we go with that. Lauren, we were sent the message from Miss Kara today that, unfortunately, Gary of Nerdrotic will not be able to join us tonight. There was something that came up. We're going to reschedule Gary, and he will be coming and joining us soon. I know some of our friends out there are joining us with the hope that Gary's going to be here with the brand new Starfleet Academy chair and Captain Spock, the action figure sitting in it. We are going to do that another day, Lauren, but we're going to reschedule. We will have some of the greatest panelists you've ever seen on, but no Gary of Nerdrotic this time.
I would actually say that we may even have a superior guest tonight. No, I wouldn't say that, but we do have an excellent guest who is one of my favorites, so I look forward to bringing him on stage.
Well, in that case, let's bring him in. Folks, let's celebrate right now.
It's a super spring song. Pedro's big year has Disney dropping.
Stop it. Get some help.
And the help is here. Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge. Join us. Tom, how are you, buddy?
If I'm the replacement for Gary, I am so sorry.
No, Tom. That's Fake
so
Wizard.
Sorry to everybody.
Fake Wizard will be
there.
joining us soon.
Look, this is just revenge. Is he really?
Well, yeah, he'll be with us. You'll be
You
here.
had to make me feel like this now.
The four of us, Tom. The four of us. We're like
Fake
like the
Wizard
Ninja
is
Turtles.
so busy, I can't get him on Midnight's Edge.
It's like the Ghostbusters, okay?
But
I don't know if you're
Friday
Venkman.
Night Tights calls and he's right there. See, and I thought maybe I could have the moment to get my revenge on Gary for gender swapping me on Friday Night Tights. And he does laugh at that every time I say it too, by the way. Because he kind of, in a way, look.
You need a wig, Tom. You could have stayed with the wig.
Part of the reason that I was moved out of my position was because, let's be real, Chrissy Meyer was much better looking and much funnier than I am. So, yes, technically I was gender swapped.
You need birthing hips. If you had birthing hips, you had a chance.
If I had birthing hips, I might have had a chance. No, absolutely. But no, thanks for having me, even if it was a last-minute invite.
Tom, it was. It's not simply because Gary's not able to be here. I just realized, man, we had a great time covering the Michael review last week, and I thought, boy, I'd like to do that again. Shamona! Woo-hoo! Man, he's got them all. How about that? I love it. I love it. Who's fat? Sorry. Did you know today, actually, I was introducing a kiddo to the Weird Al versions of the Michael Jackson song. So we listened to Eat It and to Fat, and they hold up, man. They're still funny. They're still so funny. When you're only having seconds, I'm having 23rds. When I go to get my shoe shined, I got to take their word. I mean, it's just, I love it.
It almost feels like it was a bit of a missed opportunity to have Daniel Radcliffe play Weird Al Yankovic in the Michael biopic, asking him for permission.
Gosh, if they had done that, I would have.
To do Eat It. Because have you ever seen The Complete Al?
Yes.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about when I say this, because there's this great scene in The Complete Al where Al goes to ask Michael Jackson for permission, and he treats Michael like this like a god, basically. Like he can barely get into the house, and Michael's sitting on this throne in the dark, and he's like, can I make a parody of Beat It? I got an idea called Eat It, where it's, using food, and Michael just nods his head or whatever. It's about it. Obviously, it's not really Michael, but yeah.
If Daniel Radcliffe had showed up as Weird Al in this movie, in Michael the movie, I honestly would have just got up out of my chair and said, I can't handle this anymore. This is too much. This is too good. I'll be back in a minute.
I think the audience would have loved that little intro.
Oh boy. Folks, if you'll take a look at the Super Chat goal for tonight, it is quite the Super Chat goal. We got to get to 30. If we do, Lorne Connor is going to explain why we're suddenly talking about his hatred of poultry. Lorne, I know, right? It's become a thing where...
Who don't like chicken?
Oh, no.
Lorne.
No, I despise chickens, but I love to devour them.
He has a hatred for the living poultry. Mm-hmm.
I can get behind that.
They whisper of me in their coops at night.
A lot of birds are like air rats.
He's a fried feathered friend. Or fiend, if you will.
And if they weren't meant to be eaten, then why did chickens taste so darn good?
We were talking about this before the show. I said, chickens are sort of like, it's the evidence that God must love us because he made these little meatballs with heads, tiny, pointless heads. And they're walking meatballs. All you got to do is pull the feathers off. And they walk on these legs, right? Meatballs on legs. And then he says, and you can eat the legs too, guys. The whole sucker, just all of it.
Yeah, it's really odd. Kirk Cameron talks about the banana thing. It's like, dude, your go-to should have been the chicken.
Go to the chicken. Go to the chicken. Folks, we'll be going. We'll be going to the chicken later, and we'll find out how Lorne eats his chicken. Is it with ranch? Is it with honey mustard? Does it fried, boiled, broiled? How does he kill? How does he eat, devour the poultry? We'll find out. But as we get ready to do that, I want to remind everybody that next week, Friday, not the typical day the Pro Show goes live, but next Friday, I believe it's the 8th of May, at 9 p.m., we'll be doing a charity stream right here on the Pro Show, where we will be raising money for a cause. We'll announce that next week. And the joke is that we're raising money for Wilton's legs. But I just want you to know it's not really for his legs. It's for a real charity. So join us next Friday at 9 p.m. And it's the Wilton Leg-a-see. Leg-I-see. You get, yeah.
Well, here's a hint.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Walker will tell you that, but he can roundhouse kick him right out of you.
Well,
I grew up through wars, poverty, and my life's falling apart. But Wilton's life, well, he's never really lived. He needs legs.
Hi, Wilton the Troll doesn't have any legs, and I feel so bad for him. I'm really excited to help. I'm emptying my piggy bank and giving all my birthday money so he can get better.
Wilton is precious. He said I remind him of his mom.
I really like Wilton the Troll, so I'm gonna empty my piggy bank and my education account to help him. Wilton needs legs more than I need college right now.
I'm honestly just sad for Wilton. He was born with no legs. And me, I got this wheelchair.
I've dealt with my own challenges, so when I heard about him, I knew I had to step up.
Wilton told me he could help me with my computer because I remind him of his mom. But then I did something wrong and it completely broke my computer, so I'm emptying my savings account to help him instead.
Wilton, you're my favorite troll now.
I'm donating because Wilton deserves to feel like he's not alone.
He needs our help.
He's gonna be so happy.
He also told me I was pretty. And I like that too.
That's two times the Chuck. Lauren, I'm going to put a super chat up to get started tonight. It's one that I fear will offend you. I put this up with trepidation and some trembling. You see, Lauren, One Dirty Bird for 5 says, one of my favorite pets was a banty rooster that followed me everywhere. Lauren, how do you feel about poultry being kept as pets?
This is the super chat of a collaborator.
In what way?
He is aligned with the birds. Even his name speaks to his collaboration with these nasty little creatures. This is someone that we must root out of our communities because he is aligned with the birds. It's not a good thing.
He's beak to beak in line with them. Mm-hmm. Be wary of that one. Be wary indeed.
That is a little sus.
Mark Fields for 199 is not sus. He says positive vibes to you all and have a great show.
He's got
Mark.
a bird.
Whoa,
He's
gosh,
got a
there is
bird.
That's an okay bird, though. Lauren, are all birds in the bad category, or is it just chickens?
Not all birds are evil.
Okay.
But chickens are nasty, disgusting creatures. They are incredibly stupid. The flatness of their brains cannot be overstated. And they are also tasty. So you are justified in executing them in any manner that you wish, dismembering them, taking their meat, and using it in every variety of dish that you wish.
The enormity of their flat brain, the enormity of their stupidity is just overwhelming. You have to do yourself a favor when you're out in the countryside and you see chicken. Try to look a chicken in the eye with great intensity, and the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing.
That man starred in the first season of The Mandalorian.
Yes, he did. He's my hero.
You know, one of my favorite Herzog stories is...
What's that?
He was making a movie with Klaus Kinski, and Klaus Kinski had him to the edge, and he's like, look, if you don't just do the shot, I'm going to shoot you and myself. And he pulled out a gun.
He did. True story. Klaus Kinski and Werner Herzog are both insane in different ways. and yet, they're both fascinating.
They decided to work together so much. That's the weird thing, is like, man, I can't believe one of them didn't kill the other at some point.
All right, Juliet, you're killing us with kindness for 2 morning WDW Pro panel and pro rights. Thank you, Juliet. We appreciate you. And the Fudge Dora is back for 199. Power to the Niners. Disney, pop that push pocket yet. Good evening. Notice I mispronounced some of that on purpose.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you got to make sure that you keep yourself clear of the YouTubes these days. One Dirty Bird is back. Lauren's favorite guy for 2. How the heck a why? How the heck a wee? How the heck a wee? You know what? We'll go with it. And Snarky says, Gary? I
got a beard. He's got a beard. So we're kind of like Gary.
I grew a beard
We
since
got glasses.
the Avatar. Yeah, okay. I think I should read this as SpongeBob. Be like,
Gary? What are you doing, Gary?
SpongeBob.
Oh, hey, Patrick. I'm looking for Gary.
Gary will return, folks. Gary will be here, just
Gary
not tonight.
doesn't say anything, though. That's the problem. He just goes, or whatever it is.
John, member for 5 months. Mark Hamill's niece threatening lawfare at...
Gary? Not Mark Hamill, no!
Probably over the boots. Jay Peterman for 1999. Want to tell you Josh was in Disneyland last week. He was watching the Bluey show from afar, and I walked up to him, and I told him his nickname is Brand New Tomorrow. He grinned so big and said he hadn't heard it. He took a selfie with me. Peterman, I wish you had told him, and I appreciate that you did this, and everybody always be nice. I wish you had said to him, hey, I watch the WDW Pro Channel, and from him to you, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. And we'll find out what's going to go on with tomorrow because he's got a big decision to make with Jimmy Kimmel. We'll see how it goes down. It's our first story. Apparently, leaks from inside the company say decision is forthcoming, has not yet been made. Retosaurus Rex out there, member for 17 months. MJ is being rewarded for hindering evil Jeff. If we're talking about Michael Jackson, just remember, folks, that the movie does not glorify Michael Jackson, presents him as being a very odd person, at the least, maybe disturbed and definitely damaged from his father. But hindering evil Jeff, who knows?
Jump
Woohoo! Ham and whole wheat. All right. One Dirty Bird for 5. We've read it once. I don't think Lauren can take it twice. Let's see. We've got Jaren Night Shadow for $4.99. I'm not sure if you've ever talked to them, but would you ever consider having Neon and Geeky of Clownfish TV on the panel? Keep up the great work. They were invited years ago, and so you never know, folks. You never know. This life is filled with surprises. Let's see. John for 5 is out there. My father bought a few dozen chickens when I was 10 or 11. That's when I found out running like a chicken with your head cut off was real.
Very real.
All right. I'm going to have to finally tell a story that I've been sitting on now for the entirety of the channel. When I was but a wee pro, I had a great aunt who was probably 80 years old when I was just a little guy. And she actually, at her property, killed a chicken and allowed the chicken then, the dead chicken, to do what dead chickens do, and I was nearby as a little one. And I am here to tell everybody that as a little guy, as a little pro, from the age of about 5 to 6, I would not eat a chicken. I was so traumatized by that. And I went to a restaurant with my parents one time where they plopped a rotisserie chicken, on the plate, down on the table, the rotisserie chicken. And my parents say that I turned green because I had just seen, a few weeks ago, my great aunt do that. And so there you go, folks. I had a chicken traumatic experience. Lauren, I hope you're happy.
Clearly took the wrong lesson, though. Your lesson should have been eliminate them, destroy them, consume them at every opportunity.
Right, the universe celebrates. Watch, they dance when they die. They're excited for it.
They're so brainless that when you cut their heads off, they're still trying to escape.
Lauren, tell the story of Mike the Headless Chicken. Just do it.
So I think this took place in the 20s or 30s, but there was a farmer that in attempting
had a dog. Bingo. What? No, chicken. Okay.
In attempting to behead his chicken, his axe managed to hit at exactly where the brain stem ended and attached to the brain, and the chicken refused to die. He continued to feed it with an eyedropper for several months, maybe even over a year. I don't remember how long it actually survived.
The headless chicken.
In the meantime, it ended up in basically traveling shows as a curiosity, and he made a lot of money off of it. And this is how unnecessary the brain to the chicken is.
Right. A brainstem, no head, the chicken still did exactly the same things that chickens do. Exactly. Didn't affect the chicken, didn't care.
I mean, come on. There's so many things you can do with chicken. It was clearly intended for us to eat.
Obviously. Fry it, broil it, boil it, stick it in a pan, stick it in a stew. Tanker for 5. Lauren is like my dog, Chicken Terminator 5000. We can't have any on the farm because she ends them.
This is a wise dog.
Now I know why you fry.
Get in the fryer. English for 2. Gonzo is losing his mind right now on this topic. Oh, poor Camilla.
This is crazy.
You guys just don't know the love of a chicken. Snarky for $49.90. Snarky, what are you doing, man? Look at this guy. Just never gets enough. The Fudge Dora holds strong. Yeah, I click the button and suddenly things happened. We'll fix it back, I promise. All right, what's Snarky say?
Cool backdrop there.
Yeah, it's the evening pro. Snarky for $49.99. Oh yeah, after hours. Wilton, grifting kids, disabled and the elderly is so wrong. That leg, I see, is broken.
I always thought he had legs. I'm confused.
Nope, no legs.
So
we
he
found
doesn't
out.
have one leg to stand on? Is that what you're saying?
Not a leg. Not a leg. He was gifted some legs from Dragon Queen. Tiny, itsy bitsy legs. I don't know if we're going to attach those during the legacy, but something, folks, is going to happen.
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro Channel, thank you.
We've got Redisaurus back again for 5. If Lorne hates chickens, he should come to the Midwest and see the Canadian geese. The only thing they don't do is wield rocket launchers and flamethrowers. Do chickens do that where you come from, Redisaurus?
I have been to the Midwest. I have seen Canadian geese. I don't really have a beef with geese, only with chickens.
What about turkeys, Lauren? How do you feel when you come across a turkey? That's a giant chicken.
I love turkeys. Well, not
in what way?
I would wish to cuddle with them, but I love eating them.
Would you
as well.
spoon?
Thanksgiving. No,
would you spoon a turkey?
I would spoon gravy over a turkey.
Would you fork a turkey?
I'm not going to step onto that particular landmine, but I will certainly consume as much turkey as I can come Thanksgiving.
All right. What's the best way to cook a turkey for Thanksgiving, Lauren?
Oh, I like making kind of a spicy turkey. I'll bake it all day in the oven with butter and Cajun spices. Get the nice gravy and use that for the mashed potatoes. That's my favorite meal.
Right, here's the deal. Lauren, you and I are going to be hanging out in the future. We've got a thing that we're going to be doing together, and we got multiple things down the road, including some conventions we're going to be going to. We haven't announced yet. Lauren, how about we purchase some whole turkeys and let's just go to town cooking said turkeys in different ways? Would you be up for that?
I suppose. I've never done a whole turkey. I'm usually cooking for one, so I just do the breast. But
Lauren, it's time for the whole turkey.
All right, you got it.
You've been staying at the breast. It's time to move on. Whole turkey.
Sure. Okay.
Tanker for 5. I'm 40 and have served in Iraq for 2 tours. Thank you for your service. That is very, very important and meaningful, and we do appreciate it. One of the most traumatic things I've ever seen was my grandpa killing and dressing 5 chickens. It's the smell, really. It's unpleasant. It's not a good smell when they, end the chickens and then get started on the rest of it. Ew, don't like it.
But it is a joyous occasion. It is an occasion to be celebrated. You moved it.
I couldn't feed you anymore on this chicken thing. It's actually getting a little disturbing.
All right.
I mean, we got to hit the news, Lauren.
All right. Go for it.
Lay off the chickens, man. I mean, seriously. I thought it was a bit, but you're just going and going. You really do hate chickens.
I do.
Cherokee Bear for 2. This is like the 1943 version of Chicken Little. The sky is falling. No, it's your head, chicken. And finally, Bruce Newhouse for 199. Power to the Niners. So the headless chicken became a Democrat. Oh, no. He's still voting. You know what, folks? It's time. We got to go to the first story up on the docket. We're going to rock it. Let's see. Before we do, though, we got a super chat that just came in. We'll grab that one. We never leave one behind. 2 that came just in. Patrick, get away for 5. What does Lauren think of Snarky's chicken nuggets in front of a young Sandra Bullock?
That's a young Sandra Bullock?
Wait a minute. Where? Oh, in the clip?
Yeah.
Hang on. Do we have that where I can play that? No, we'd have to go back to the other side. Okay, hang on. Now I'm curious. Okay. Does she look like young Sandra Bullock? Let's find out. Here we go. Not young Sandra Bullock. No, Patrick. Patrick, that's more like young Gina Ortega. That's not Sandra. John for 5. WKRP Thanksgiving Turkey Massacre was an iconic episode of TV. I thought they could fly.
As God was his witness.
Again, evidence that God must love us. The little meatballs on stick legs, they can't fly either. Because that would be too hard. Yeah, stay on the ground, chicken. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some news to hit, and boy, oh boy, this Jimmy Kimmel story is very interesting now. It just got spicy like the Colonel's secret recipe. We'll go there. Let's play it. Let's find out what's happening behind the scenes at Disney.
The shadow grows. We must act. The enemy has found the roost. Our arrows are ready, but we need a plan. Then we fly to Mordor. Flock for the planet. By the line of roost. Take that, you brave. What have they done?
Whisper tales of fire and frost. Shadows rise where the borders are lost. Through the woods where the ancient ones sing, I hear the call of the elder ring.
Things are getting very spicy over at Disney as they're trying to decide what to do with Jimmy Kimmel, and we'll pause this one, but getting very spicy, and Hollywood is pressuring Disney not to do what Disney just might do. From the U.S. Sun, provided us by LW Ghost, this one by Jessica Finn. It matters a ton, ladies and gentlemen. Do not believe anything else. Go with this. Trust me, you'll see why. ABC chiefs are ready to pull Jimmy Kimmel Live and have already spiked promo ads over his Melania widow comments. Now, what you need to know is We looked into this before we ran this segment, and it does seem true that Disney is removing the promo ads. Why does that matter? Well, if you're removing the promo ads at a time such as this, well, hang tight. We'll get there. ABC execs are ready to pull Jimmy Kimmel's show again over the late night host's controversial comments about Melania Trump. And insiders, a.k.a. people from inside Disney, tell the U.S. Sun that this time it could be for good. Yes, Jimmy Kimmel came back and was defiant. We all watched it. We've talked about it. We reported on it. But don't believe for a moment that the decision is final from Disney. ABC affiliates around the country have already been ordered to drop promotional clips for the show after the First Lady hit back at Kimmel for branding her an expectant widow on April 23rd. Let me say it again, because we're going to go to the Hollywood trades and they're going to try to make you believe something different than what's really happening. Again, ABC affiliates around the country have been ordered. This is breaking, folks, right now. Have been ordered to drop promotional clips for the show. The scandal also comes at a crucial time, and this is what I was talking about just a second ago. At a time such as this, the scandal also comes at a crucial time for the network's advertising revenue, meaning Disney could take the easy way out by pulling him. The sources to the U.S. Sun say. An ABC insider. I mean, they're claiming it. They're claiming they got an insider telling them, leaking this to them. An ABC insider exclusively told the U.S. Sun, quote, stations which carry ABC around the country were told to pull Kimmel's slated promos from their lineups this week. The move to pull Kimmel completely seems imminent. We'll come back and read more of this in just a minute, but first I want to go to Variety. Variety is not wanting to pull up. Okay, well, fine then. Let me go first then to Lorne. Lorne, as we are seeing this happen, this is not what we've been told by so many out there. They're saying Disney was so bold to put him on there and ignore the Trumps. Lorne, it's looking like behind the scenes things are moving in a different direction. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't think that this is really just an issue with the Trumps anymore. I mean, they're going to push back on Kimmel, and they're right to do so. But look at it from Disney's perspective. They already gave him another chance after he screwed up last time. And it's real easy to avoid landmines if you want to. Kimmel doesn't want to. He wants to continue being this foil in his mind to Trump. Now imagine how Disney's going to look if it turns out that the next person that tries to do something like this succeeds. Disney does not want that. And I think that people are now starting to call on Disney proper as opposed to complaining directly to ABC. When it starts reflecting on Disney, they're more sensitive to that. And there's another factor at play here, and that's that Josh D'Amaro is now the CEO. This is his first real leadership test, and you don't want to appear to be weak. And I'm afraid right now, if he does nothing, that's how he's going to appear. This gives him an opportunity to say, the buck stops here, I'm the boss, and I'm going to put a stop to this. And I think that may work out better for him than just letting Kimmel run.
I'll tell you, we are unable at this time to pull up the Variety article. I don't know why. I don't know what their website's doing, but we're unable to pull it up right now. We'll just show this to you. And unfortunately, I would love to read the article to you. I'll describe it. We've read it earlier in the day. Variety is running this article that says Disney stands its ground in the face of Trump's Jimmy Kimmel temper tantrum and FCC harassment. And Tom, what they do in this article is they basically brag on Disney that Disney, Josh D'Amaro is not doing what Bob did 6 months ago. That Disney put him on the air. They've not made a comment. They're not doing anything. They're just playing this, as if nothing happened. And Variety is very proud of them for that. They're very happy with them. What is happening, though, Tom, it seems to me, is that no decision has been made. Variety is already celebrating the decision they want to be made, hoping that will force Disney's hand. Tom, is that going to play out this way, considering we've got now evidence that promos are being pulled, and even the FCC is stepping in? PJ Media says this could be really bad news for Disney. We'll walk through this in a minute. But, Tom, your thoughts on all of this and Hollywood just fighting tooth and nail to make sure Disney keeps Jimmy Kimmel on the air?
Yeah, I mean, as far as okay, this is a really complicated animal to break into. Now,
break into it, Tom. You're the only one who
can. The
head
of the FCC was using a bit of a scare tactic last time, because as a lot of us had pointed out, at the end of the day, a lot of what would probably have happened to Jimmy and ABC would have amounted to just a couple of fines, basically. Because if y'all remember, even as far back as things like when Janet Jackson accidentally exposed herself on the Super Bowl,
Our First Lady Melania.
that was just like a few fines at the end of the day, even though they made a big stink about it. This is a bit different because now we've gone past all that stuff. And there was maybe kind of that air of, okay, sure, maybe we misunderstood what Kimmel said. Fine, whatever. At the end of the day, and we do have freedom of speech in this country, that is true. But this gets to a point where it's like, where does bad taste come into play here, where the public can finally say, okay, enough's enough? Especially 2 days before this happens and the type of joke that was made. Now, this is the second time he's made a joke of this type.
Right, about the death of the president. Now, he's
Exactly.
tried, Tom, he's tried to come in and say, well, it's about their age difference. It's like jokes about jokes about
Pardon
the
my
president's
French, but BS. Exactly.
Yeah, jokes about the president's death. It's not funny when Biden's in office. It's not funny when Obama's in office. We don't joke about the death of a president. We certainly don't joke about the death of the spouse. No, it's not a good taste.
Well, I mean, even back, I was just going to say, I don't even remember this ever being a problem throughout history. Sure, you had your tit for tat with certain presidents and candidates and stuff like that. But I don't ever remember this much of a separation before. At least when like Reagan won, there was an air of respect for Reagan. Right. You know, when Clinton won, hell, he even got respect. You know, so like, I don't understand this. You know, Obama, if we didn't respect him, you had to hear about it. So why is it all of a sudden okay for an entire nation to disrespect a president like they have? And I've never even been the biggest Trump fan, to be honest with you.
Sure. We're not making, it's not a pro-Trump thing. It's not an anti-Trump thing. It's
exactly
Jimmy
it's
Kimmel
a decency thing. Yeah.
He's left all decency. He's completely off the rails. Here's what makes this week so interesting. It says from The Sun, making ABC's delicate situation even more precarious, the insider explained that sweeps begin this Thursday. Sweeps are when TV viewing data is collected each quarter to set ad local and national advertising rates. A second source, who is a veteran industry insider, said sweeps usher in an all-out race for ratings, making the timing for pulling Kimmel disastrous. The insider predicts ABC parent company Disney will eventually cave to the administration's demands to avoid an exodus of advertisers during this critical window. In other words, Disney has not made any comment, because, and by the way, not in favor of Kimmel, pay attention to that. They've not made any comment because they need to get the ratings for sweeps, and then they can do whatever they're going to do, according to The Sun. Now,
Are
Lauren,
sweeps
you've
even still a thing?
I suppose so. Lauren, you've been able to pull up the Variety article. Would you put that on the screen for us? We've been working hard to get that one actually to play. Lauren, would you just read us the first two paragraphs of this, please? So, folks, Michael Schneider, the author here. Go ahead, Lauren.
Had to remember to hit the unmute button. When it comes to the barrage and nonsense coming from this White House, sometimes no response is the best response. Disney has clearly learned its lesson from last year's Jimmy Kimmel media firestorm when it temporarily benched the late-night host in the wake of threats from FCC Chairman Brendan Carr. As Carr continues to weaponize the agency to take on critics of Donald Trump, his actions have even earned him rebukes from his own party, including Senator Ted Cruz. What's more, Trump's demand that Kimmel be fired over a monologue joke rings especially weak given some of the president's often divisive and violent rhetoric.
Now, I want to clarify that we are not the kind of channel that just blanket supports President Trump.
Bring that back up.
When President Trump made commentary about Rob Reiner, we came out and said, this is beneath the presidency. There have been other times when President Trump has done and said things. There was the painting that semi-depicted him as a messianic figure of Jesus. And we said, that's not wise. Pragmatically, it's not doing him any good. So we try very hard to call balls and strikes. In this case, Tom, Jimmy Kimmel clearly crossed the line, and it makes advertisers exceedingly squeamish. We can talk about the FCC and all that sort of thing, but if you're Kleenex, if you're Mr. Clean, if you're McDonald's, if you're Apple, if you're, like, you don't want to have your ads run anymore on Kimmel because you don't want to be the thing that plays right before or after he says something like this. It's too much.
Well, and there was a line here that this is why I had Lauren bring it up. Thank you. As Carr continues to weaponize the agency to take on critics. So basically you're saying if he does his job, he's weaponizing the agency. Like, what else is the FC supposed to do? FCC. I mean, that's their job, is to regulate what goes out on public airways. And this is the thing I had to argue about with people before. Now, here's the thing, though. In this instance, I don't know if they have as much to stand on as they did last time. That's the problem. Because last time, it was on his show in front of a live audience, however you want to put it, and he was obfuscating the truth, and it could lead many to believe something that wasn't true. See, and that's where the issue had come in. And as we pointed out before, because a lot of people pointed out, well, CNN reports stuff and MSNBC and Fox News and da-da-da-da. The difference is they're on cable. That's not regulated the same way as broadcast television is. The FCC regulates broadcast television, and believe you me, they have a right to oversee just about anything that has anything to do with taste, nudity, violence, language, all that kind of stuff. Okay? If they decide they want to come after you and fine you for something, it's going to happen. Before it was just a threat. Now it sounds like they're being serious. And I don't know where this was during a correspondence dinner. So was this broadcast on
this was prior channel? This was prior to the correspondence dinner. This was it's a mock correspondence dinner. It was recorded on Thursday.
So what
2
did
days
this
before the
broadcast
correspondence
on?
dinner? Thursday night.
So this was on his actual show again?
Yes.
So he didn't actually say this to her live. This was just
no. It's fake to have her.
Okay.
Right. Now here's the thing.
The thing is you think he'd been walking this tightrope already. You would think he was empowered. Back off. Yeah.
No, he was empowered because he thought he was uncancelable or he's a martyr.
Because you're right. Because the advertisers are the ones who hold the ultimate power here.
Right. We need to be fully transparent here and let everybody know that we have been cited. That Park Place, the website that I own and run, and the company, that Park Place under Marvin Montanaro has been cited by the FCC. As they have gathered their resources, their investigation into Disney when it comes to this particular story. So thatparkplace.com was cited for revealing and reporting on the situation at some of the Disney entities, such as ABC, where they may have been hiring based on race, gender, bedroom preferences, that sort of thing, and then giving raises to their C-suite based on that sort of thing.
That's a big no-no. Yeah.
It's a big no-no, and that's part of what this FCC investigation would be into. But one thing, here's where I'd like to bring the conversation full circle. If we go back to the Sun article right here, ABC execs are ready to pull Jimmy Kimmel show again over the late night, host controversial comments about Melania Trump. I find it interesting, guys, that the Hollywood trades are praising Disney. They're running a victory lap, and they're not talking about what the Sun is saying, which is Disney's pulling promo ads. And networks are being ordered to pull the promo ads. Why would the Hollywood trades refuse to report this unless they're trying to say, hey, Disney, do what we want you to do. We're not going to report what's happening. We're going to roses and sunshine, Disney, roses and sunshine, do what we're saying to do. Lauren, I'll give it to you. What do you think?
I think the whole situation is coming to a head in a way that I didn't expect. And I think I see people in the comments that are reporting some squeamishness, I think, with the FCC. I think it's important to underscore what Tom said, which is that the FCC has jurisdiction over this because the public airwaves are a public resource. And if you are granted license to use those frequencies, the idea is that you have to be reporting or broadcasting in the public interest. And in this case, it skirts kind of close to what he did the last time, in which the last time he was saying something that was demonstrably false and everybody knew it. In this case, you could make the argument that by presenting this as though he were at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, even though it was a joke, he's presenting an image that is not correct. And I think the most egregious thing to me about what Kimmel's doing here when he came out the night after the attempt is trying to make this claim that he was obviously making a joke about Trump's age. That is complete BS. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that he has complete I don't know what you
the stupidity of it was he should have owned it, right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And this is what I was getting at. This joke here shouldn't have warranted the FCC so much as the last joke did. See, because the last time it was more or less a slap on the wrist saying, don't let it happen again. Now this time it's basically like, the problem is they've cried wolf so many times on this crap. You know, they say so much stuff in the public that when it does happen, they act like, oh, it's such a big deal. It's like, well, it's probably because you guys should have been stopped sooner. So I don't blame some people for going like, you know, this is a little overkill because it kind of is. But at this point, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. It's like you were already warned once, right? And you're doing it again. And again, like I said, this doesn't really fall into the same technical category because in its context, even if he meant it the other way, it's still a joke and it's not like he's inciting it. Unlike the other situation where he was misrepresenting and mischaracterizing the assassin, right? Like that's the issue that a lot of people were noting and pointing out.
I think we may have to clarify something here, and you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, Pro, because there's been a lot of forks in this conversation. I don't think that, because one of the aspects of this story is that the FCC is calling for ABC to basically recertify their broadcast license. They're going to be looking into them to determine whether or not they're going to continue to get that license extended. But it is not related to the comments that occurred the night before this attempt. It's actually still related to their DEI practices that they were still engaging in.
That's correct. Yep.
That's
this mirrors the media is trying to tie the two together, is what you're trying to say.
Yes, and this mirrors the Disney World situation, where the Disney company had this huge, crazy advantage in Florida, and everybody had just let it be because it's such a pain to unravel it. And then Disney decided, oh, we're going to become this political entity, and we're going to take on and fight Ron DeSantis. And then all of a sudden, the Florida Republicans said, by golly, I think we will look at this whole Disney World. You get to govern yourselves. You can build nuclear power plants and airports. You're a company, you should never be able to do that. This is the same kind of thing where, yeah, you did, it seems like, you did hire based on race and gender and sexual preference. You may have also not hired based on religious preferences. Yeah, we might look at that now because you are making yourselves into such clowns. And here we go. And, cell phone by Disney, cell phone. Ladies and gentlemen, the big news, though, what you need to take away from all of this, remember, decisions are happening behind the scenes. Actions are taking place. And the Sun is reporting that they have insiders at Disney, insiders at ABC that say promos are being pulled, decisions are being made. The Hollywood trade's trying to stop it. But we're telling you, Disney is not quite yet ready to drop him. But they may after the sweeps.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
Well, it's not Gary.
Oh.
I was hoping for Gary, but hey, Wiz, how you doing, buddy?
We both got beards. What's the deal?
We both got beards. Hey, Wiz, did you know that tonight is the night that your emoji has taken flight? The viewers of the channel, the members voted, and they all said they want Wiz, and we are giving them Wiz. They've got the Wiz tonight. They're whizzing in the chat as we speak. Folks, please go ahead and click it. Put the emoji up there. Make him feel good. Put the Wiz in there. Not the generic wizard. What are you guys doing? The one that we made.
Happy Wiz Day.
It's a great Wiz Day.
I got no idea what's going on right now.
A lot of Wiz. All right, folks, fill that chat with Wiz. We appreciate that, and congratulations, Wizard. Wizard, can we talk about the thing now? Like, did we get to the point where we can talk about the thing? Oh my gosh, thank you. Finally. Wiz, tell everybody out there the good news.
I'm joining FNT starting this Friday. I'll be one of the permanent panel members. So
there you go.
Let's go.
Go, Wiz, go. Now, Wiz, you were supposed to be here with Gary, and we're going to make the announcement together on this, but Gary was unable to make it tonight. But Wiz, that's fantastic. It's phenomenal, and you continue your meteoric rise, except meteors go down and you're going up. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good show. There's a lot of craziness, but we have a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Who will you be replacing, Wiz?
I am to be. It's a soft replacement for Az. He's taken some time away, and they have an open spot, and they asked me to fill it on his behalf. So, shout out to Az. Looking forward to.
Did you force him out, Wiz? We need breaking news right now. Did you force Az out? Did you send somebody? Did you rough him up?
I hope I didn't upset him or anything. We had a good time. I got him to laugh a few times, which I thought would be hard to do.
Liar.
But
liar. There's no way you did that. You couldn't do that. That's beyond the abilities of mortal men.
Yeah.
All right, folks, back to beyond the powers of mortal men. Mike the Headless Chicken lasted 18 months, says Juliet for 2. Lauren, that chicken made it 18 months without a brain, which is longer than some chickens with brains.
Yep.
Dare I say, longer than most chickens with brains.
A lot of humans that go for 18 years with no brains.
Imagine the money you could have made off of that, though. This is the one case where I actually kind of support the chicken living, because you can exploit its nearly dead carcass for financial gain, which I'm in favor of.
So, Lauren, would you like to have a go at that? Maybe raising your own headless chicken? You're going to get out there and start trying to aim right down to the millimeter you got to get?
I do not think so. Nope, not for me. But
okay,
but cool for the farmer.
All right. I mean, I'll loan you a butter knife.
Yeah, you had told me another story about an attempted decapitation of a chicken one time.
I'll get you a.
We share these stories all the time.
I'll get you
what
a
did I
sport.
walk in on?
I'll get you a sport from Taco Bell. Yeah. Okay. So my sister-in-law had the great idea that she was going to raise chickens for the eggs, right? Fresh eggs. And so then she, of course, as you do, she told my in-laws, I'm going to put some chicken coops on your large property, and you can do the chickens, and I'll claim that I raised them. So that's how that arrangement was made. And I guess you have to have only hens. No roosters allowed. Roosters are mean, and roosters do things with hens that make the eggs inedible, if you have any sensibilities about you. And so one of the chicks turned out to be a rooster, wasn't supposed to be. And my father was told by somebody that they would like the rooster, but the rooster had to not be of the living variety for them to come take the rooster and, go do whatever it is they want to do. And apparently, I don't know if he wants me to tell this to the public, but we're already in this too far. Hope he's not listening. He watched YouTube channels on how you do this thing, right? How do you end the life of the rooster in a humane way? And my father said to me, well, they make it look easy in the YouTube videos. They describe it as if, it just happens. But it turns out that even with a sharp item, if you've never done it before, well, let's just say sometimes it takes a couple whacks. And he felt actually terrible. And
Lauren laughing.
Was traumatized by this because he said, after the first whack, he was like, oh no. And then I think he, rapidly tried to just whack, try to get rid of and he said it was a horrible, awful, traumatic death for the rooster, but totally unintentional. He did, it was supposed to be so easy, just thump and it's over, and it's not how it goes.
But I don't want to be a pie.
It's a wonderful day for pie. You can ask all the hens in the sky. They don't fly. England for 5. I live on Stopping Point on the migratory path of Canadian geese. Atlanta, actually. They poop all over the place, and they're mean. They're real mean.
Canadian
but they're
geese
protected.
take down airplanes. They'll
do
the worst.
They'll do it on purpose, too.
Yeah.
Yep. Grab the wiper blades, tug it down. They'll do it. We got Snarky out there for $4.99. That movie needs real chickens. Beheading, gore, and guts, and the giant fryer at the end. Well, my friend Snarky, we're not done with that clip. There's more to come. We've got Snarky for $4.99. Free speech doesn't protect Kimmel or Disney from consequences. Now, this is not a free speech issue whatsoever. Jimmy Kimmel, none of us get the right to be on network TV. There's not a single one of us who has that right. If we did have that right, we'd be on network TV. There you go. Well, although I'd rather be right here.
I mean, when I got my FCC license back in the day for broadcasting, I mean, they drill it into your head, the things you cannot and cannot do, right? Like up front. And like the idea that, because I get it, a lot of people are like, well, what about freedom of speech? Freedom of speech does not matter here. This is not about a freedom of speech. This is about things that go over airwaves, like to where anybody can listen to them. So there's an air of responsibility that comes along with that. And in that sense, Jimmy is kind of setting ABC up for a lot here. Like, that's the problem. I mean, because it's up to the FCC and their people there to kind of decide what is to be done here. And if they're sitting there saying, well, maybe we need to take a look at your license, it may sound a little gangster, But at this point, the people in the media and ABC especially have gotten away with a lot. And I think it's about time that some of these networks are kind of held to a little bit of a, you know, a standard, because that's what the FCC is for, is to hold them to a standard, right? So we've seen that standard go out the door. I mean, I'm reminded so much, like, you know, I brought up, you know, the incident on the Super Bowl earlier with Janet Jackson, but I'm also reminded of all the crap that Michael had to go through all the years. It was such a quaint world we lived in when Michael got in trouble for that black or white video. Do you guys remember? Because people might emulate him because he destroyed a bunch of windows in a car that had like KKK and swastikas and stuff all over it. And they were freaking out over that. Like, that's the quaint world we lived in back then. But now we're living in a world where it's like, come on, just let it go. It's just a joke when somebody's joking about the possible assassination of a president.
Well, and remember, Jimmy Kimmel, he will demand apologies when he's insulted, right? So when he was said, when it was said he was on the list, but it seems to me that being on the list, you know, is not as bad as somebody daydreaming about you being deleted from this earth. So going to John for 5, justice delayed is justice denied. I'll have to switch the way I say this next part. Here we go. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Rushbow. Or is that the band? I'm not sure. Anyway, we love it.
It's
we
the
love
band,
it.
but yeah.
Darn it. Messed it up. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Disney's going to make a choice. They're going to make a change, and it's going to happen probably next week. Now, you all know that I called it right down to the day when Colbert was removed, or it was his final season, right? The announcement was made 24 hours after we said that was coming here on the channel. Disney's going to make a choice next week. I don't think it's going to happen this week. Next week is when we're looking at. I can't tell you what that choice is going to be. That's a Josh tomorrow decision, but I think we're going to get an answer next week. England DG for 5. Insult the mother of a giant? Great idea, Jimmy. He's lucky Baron didn't show him what a man show really looks like if he said that to my wife. I found that actually particularly despicable, is, you know, talking about the death of someone's father. Baron is what? In that video, 1718, that he used for the clip? So really quite despicable to show a minor potentially and laugh about the death of his dad. John Maynor for $4.99. Kimmel had been inciting terrible rhetoric that was almost word for word in a person's, I'll say it, manifesto. Yeah, that manifesto lines up really well with the kinds of things that Kimmel says. John for 5. People used to question MJ's sexuality, but his pronouns were hee.
That's right.
It's not a bad joke. Not a bad joke. He married Elvis's daughter, right? Right, Tom?
Yeah. This is true.
I don't know what was going on there. Snarky for $4.99. Congrats, Wiz. We love you.
You know what's funny about Michael? One of the first things that ever happened to him was he was accused of being gay.
I can't imagine why.
And he said it almost verbatim. He goes, "No, I'm not homo, but if I know some people who listen to my music are, and I don't care." The press turned around and went after him, claiming he was anti-gay after that.
Guys, I just want to let you know, I'm not anti-gay. I'm just for everybody, okay?
That's pretty much what his response was like, because anything he said or did, they tried to twist it on him, no matter what. So yeah, you don't hate the media enough, guys.
He's an interesting character. Snarky for $4.99. Favorite Star Wars book? Lorne answered last night. Tom was pro. Great titles, Lorne. Oh no, we've got to answer. All right, we'll try. Wiz, do you have a favorite Star Wars book?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. There's a lot.
There's this one.
You want me to buy you some time? You good?
Buy me some time.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick one that people are not expecting. I'm gonna say the Star Wars Archives. It's not a book about about the extra stories, the canon, or anything like that. It's the making of and images and stuff from behind the scenes, and I love it. I think it's a great book. There are actually more than one book, but I would highly recommend the one that's for the originals. So go check that one out if you get a chance. And I just looked it up. It's Paul Duncan is the, I don't know if you call it, whoever compiles it, the author, but that's the name on there. So go check it out, Star Wars Archives.
Like speaking of images, my favorite one does have a lot of images. It's called The ABCs of Star Wars. And it's 27 pages, and A is for Anakin. B is for, Boba Fett. So you get where this is going, right?
C is for Chewie.
Chewbacca. Yeah, exactly. And I love this book.
What is X for? What's X for, Tom?
X-Wing.
Oh, darn it, it's so easy.
That was too easy.
Yeah.
It was too easy. But no, I'm joking. I don't have nothing like that. Favorite Star Wars book? Gosh. You know, this is actually going to be a little sentimental. One of the first things I ever, like when I was a kid, I never really had a concept of what movies and television were. Like, I literally just thought those things were really happening. Right? You know, like we're just watching it on our box, like somebody's videotaping it or whatever. I never quite got it. And I was pretty young when I saw Gremlins. And it scared the ever-loving crap out of me. So my mom's like, we got to figure out how to get this kid to understand what movies are. So we went to the library. My mom asked if there was like any making of Gremlins or anything like that at the library, and they didn't have that. But the librarian's like, well, here, this might work. And she handed her The Making of Star Wars. And it was this blue hardcover book, about, 30 pages long, if that, a lot of pictures, of course, but it was just a behind the scenes kind of look at Star Wars for young readers. And that was my first time I kind of really understood what movies were, like the difference between reality and what movies were. And it was because of that book. And a fan sent me that book a couple years back, and I damn near cried when I opened the box because I had no idea it was coming. And I hadn't seen it since I was like 4 or 5 years old or whatever it was.
Tom, I'm going to interrupt you because I want to know if we had a shared experience. Did you have that same kind of book for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie that was sold through Scholastic?
Yes.
I had it before the movie came out. And oh man, dude, send me pictures. I read that thing cover to cover, over and over and over and over. I knew the movie before the movie happened. They used to do that where they would put out these books for kids for the movies, and you would read it, and the anticipation, man, would be unbelievable when the film came out.
That's why I don't understand spoilers nowadays. It'd be like, when I was a kid, it's like we knew these movies going into them. Like the entire movie, because of those type of storybooks and the novelizations and all that kind of stuff in the sticker books. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So, can I tell you my cool book story?
Yeah.
No. Snarky said he doesn't want to hear from you. Snarky said Lorne answered last night. He's done with you, Lorne.
This is not a Star Wars book story. It's a cool book story.
Look, I saw him move his hand to the unmute. He's ready.
He was ready.
He's on the draw.
He was in the draw.
All right, big boy, it's all yours. I can't stop you.
I got my love of books from my parents, naturally. And my dad used to read books voraciously. And when he got done with them, he'd pass them on to me, mostly science fiction paperbacks back in the day. And when I was a teenager, I got to asking him what made him love books so much, because he was not particularly an engaged guy in school. And he said that when he was in school, he happened upon this book that blew his mind. It was a science fiction book called The Blue Man. And he read that book, and it absolutely expanded his mind about what was possible in a story. And he just loved that book, and that's what made him love reading. And in my senior year in high school, I went to the same school as my dad, and it was coming up to my graduation. I think we were like a couple of weeks beforehand. And in my English teacher's room, she had a cart full of books that I went to browse, and I found The Blue Man. And I am certain it is the same copy that my dad read. And
Tom,
so
easy now. We're trying to go through memories here.
That's crazy. Sorry.
I asked my
thought he
English
muted.
teacher. I asked my English teacher if I could basically steal the book, and I told her the story, and she said yes, I could. And so I took it home. I read it. It's terrible. It's an awful book. It's not a good book at all. But I presented it to my dad. I was able to gift it to him. He also read it and agreed, yeah, this is really bad. It's not as good as I remember it. But he has that book now in his library. So there you go.
Wonderful story. Before we go to Wiz, he's got the book ready to show. Tom, I'm going to bet that the reason I heard some movement from you, I bet you've got a book. Did you go get a book?
I was trying to find it. I can't remember where I stuck it.
Oh, darn it. I was hoping you were going to pull up that Ninja Turtle Scholastic book.
Well, I don't have that one, but I do have this one, though.
Well, you're going to have to turn the camera. We got to see what it is. What do you got?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Here's the young reader version.
Oh, yeah. I had that too. Absolutely. Yep. And there's something special about that poster image there, Tom. What was special about that? Do you remember, were those not the animatronics? Did they use those are props that they used or something?
Yeah, they're like third size props or something like that.
That's right.
They just shot it on like a stage thing. They were probably like earlier versions of the heads that Jim Henson had done.
Prior to Jim Henson. Yeah. That's what it was. All All right, folks, we got to go to Wiz now. Wiz, we've been reminiscing about Turtles and Star Wars, but you, sir, you have picked the Book of the Ages for Star Wars.
You gave me time. Okay, if you could share my screen so I could present this.
Wiz, I just, before we do this, I want everybody to know this is breaking news. Real Life Fake Wizard, who is now partnered with Nerdrotic, is going to share with us the greatest Star Wars book in the history of Star Wars books.
Plot twist. I lied. This is the worst book in all of Star Wars fiction.
Oh,
this is
Wiz.
not the best book. I'm sorry. I had to run.
As opposed to Star Wars nonfiction?
That's right. That's right, Tom. This is.
I didn't know it was
book.
nonfiction.
Every moment I get the chance to tell people how bad this book is, I will. You got Heir to the Empire is great. You've got Maul Shadow Hunters, which is great. You've got there's an Obi-Wan book I really love. But the Revan book is the worst book it is worse than The Last Jedi. It is worse than Rise of Palpatine. This is the worst piece of storytelling in all of Star Wars.
Look at his face.
No, I'm actually agreeing with him. I don't know that I would say that it's the worst. It's really bad, though.
It is the worst.
Have you heard of the High Republic, Wiz?
This is worse. That's just boring.
My expression had to do with the fact that he had put it up saying that it was the best, and I saw that backstage and was going, really? This is the one you like? So I'm actually quite pleased with his answer. And the whole reason it's the worst for those who haven't read it is because it was trying to bridge the Knights of the Old Republic computer game series and the Old Republic MMO and goofed up a whole bunch of lore while it did so. So I totally understand.
All right, Snarky, you got your money's worth on that one. Kane out for 5. For shizzle our sizzle, spare the kizzle, spoil the dizzle. We need a daddy and a belt. The woodshed will resolve the issues. Oh boy, taking them on out there. Kane out for 5. Pro has always wait. Pro has always liked Cowabunga. I made a funny. Ha 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 ha. Thank you, Splinter. Kevin Clash version there. John for 5. YouTube made me edit. Nobody treated the time a deranged fan of Jodie Foster did something like this as something to celebrate, doubt, joke about. Well, of course not. We weren't deranged back then. Kimmel, strange guy. England DG for 2. Regarding MJ, that's what Leave Me Alone was about.
Great tune. So yeah, I did find this. This is the one I was talking about.
Cool. That's a cool one.
Awesome.
And is this the one you were talking about?
I think so. Open it up. It should have colored pictures top to bottom.
There's a couple different covers, I think, for them, but...
Oh, yeah, that's it, because it combined... Yes, absolutely. Oh, Tom, you've made my day. That is wonderful. Oh, what memories I have of that book. I read that for, over and over and over. I mean, that was a great one. Ah, the book fair. Thank you for bringing me Turtles at the time when I was into Turtles. All right, we've got 365 Realm member for 11 months, almost 1 year, almost a happy birthday. Imagine if JK called Michelle Obama a widow. Listen, you should not, you should never, don't go there. John 420 El 20 is here. My father's favorite book as a young man was Two Logs Crossing, about the wisdom of taking the time to cut down two logs to cross a river rather than one. He spoke of it often, but I was never able to find a large print for him. Well, John, I thought when I read the title it was going to be about the game Frogger, but Two Logs Crossing, the wisdom of when it's time to cross the river, I'm all for it. Hope you find it. That would be a cool thing for you to find. We've got England DG for 5, Little Pro 8 at Pizza Hut. Yes, I did. Enough to get the points for the Turtles Coming Out of Their Shells cassette. I did not listen to that one. I had friends who did.
Now you mention it. I have that upstairs too. Jesus.
So I actually did not like the Turtles Coming Out of Their Shells. I loved the guitar, but when I heard the music, I was like, that sounds like New Kids on the Block. Nah. Yeah, there's a few. He smelled like pepperoni for weeks. I'll tell you
what happens.
Little Pro begged for quarters to play the arcade machine because Rocksteady was a pretty tough fella. And if you could get to Bebop and beat Bebop, you were on your way to Baxter Stockman, and you could beat him. You didn't need as many quarters to beat Baxter Stockman. You just had to know what you were doing.
Those nasty turtles.
Yeah, let's get him.
Say your prayers, Toidles.
Say your prayers, Toidles.
That's a good impression. Can you do Leo?
Leo? Maybe.
Because isn't it the Cam guy? He's Rocksteady and Leo? I don't know. Anyway.
He might. I think is that or Donatello?
Same guy. Snarky to Sneak Nugget for $4.99. The guy who does Donnie is Bebop. Snarky for $4.99.
Okay.
The book question response was worth the earlier $50. Thank you, Snarky. What a way to get started. Okay, let's get going. We got to talk about Gina. There's Gina stuff to talk about. We got to do it.
That's quick.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, for me, anyway, I got to run out of here quick. So yeah.
Okay, so you got time for a segment, Tom?
Real quick. I'll get to give my 2 cents and then I'll check out.
Let's do it. Gina Carano is dropping a BOMB on the hopes and dreams of Disney that she would stay quiet and people would believe she might do a cameo with the Mandoverse. Geeks and Gamers has this one. Marvin Montanaro, you know him, you love him, you're bookmarked to the website, I'm sure. Gina Carano comments on current relationship with Pedro Pascal. Thoughts on the KK. The barista herself, Kathleen Kennedy. Here's what Gina had to say. The situation involving Gina Carano and Disney has returned to the spotlight as the actress and fighter shared where things stand today with the former The Mandalorian co-star Peepaw Pedro Pascal and offers her perspective on Kathleen Kennedy, who was closely tied to her departure from Star Wars. Following the settlement of her lawsuit with Disney and Lucasfilm, Carano has been more willing to reflect on the past, but if anyone was expecting bitterness, they won't find much of it, at least not from her. Gina Carano did not dance around the question when it came to her relationship with Pedro Pascal. The two actors who shared the screen during the early seasons of The Mandalorian are no longer in contact. According to Carano, the last time they spoke was following the passing of co-star Carl Weathers in early 2024. That's where things ended, and considering everything that's happened, it's not exactly surprising. However, the timing really does matter here because there was some hope that she had just said she spoke on a Zoom call with both Filoni and Favreau. They said, hey, where did we leave things off? And it sounds like she might be coming back to Star Wars to Lucasfilm. And so people had said, if she's in The Mandalorian, if she makes a cameo, if she's in the end credits, probably a $200 million decision for the positive for Disney. Tom?
I don't know if I go that high, but yeah, I do think it's a positive, yeah.
She shut the door on it. If she hasn't spoken to seen Pedro, I don't know how she can be in the Mando movie.
I'm not so sure about that, because remember.
Tell us about it, Tom.
A lot of the stuff she shoots, unless he takes his helmet off, that ain't Pedro Pascal. That's John Wayne's grandson or that other guy.
That's a good point.
And not
Duke
only
Jr.,
that,
they call him.
I mean, this just might be her telling us that, I don't know if I'd take it as they're out of contact. I think it's kind of telling us maybe they never were that close of friends. Because the only thing we've ever heard them talk about was when he took her aside and, corrected her over the beep bop boop thing, remember?
Right.
And otherwise, we are just assuming they are friends because we saw one little video where they were playing with toys together, right? Like, I'm sure there's plenty of other videos with Pedro playing with toys with people out there that we don't want to get into here. Point is I don't even know if they were really that close of friends to begin with. And honestly, unless she's in a scene with him where he has to take his helmet off, there's no point where they have to act together. I'm not convinced because this all happened months ago. It all happened when Bob and Kathy was out the door. It happened right after the settlement was over. And what was one of the things that she highlighted that she wanted? It wasn't about the money, right? To quote the Joker, is to send a message. She wanted her job back. And it wasn't so much the job in The Mandalorian. It was the things that were to come. Because we got to remember, she was about to head up her own TV show, which is a big step for an actress of her caliber. Now, she has not exactly said one way or the other she's coming back. She's dropped some hints. She's made the conversation with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau sound like it was a productive one. So she left that hanging chat out there with where did we leave off kind of point where that Favreau said to her. So I'm not wholly convinced she's not in a movie. Because if she's not at this point, then why are they even talking about it or why are they letting it be out there? Other than she's being asked these questions, I get that. But she's addressing it in a way that she's not saying no. You know what I mean? Like, at no point is she directly saying, I'm not coming back to Star Wars. And when she was kind of asked that direct question on the one podcast, unless she said something specific here that I'm missing on some other interview, she kind of jumped off that subject into other stuff of if I have the right story, the right director. And this was right after she got done praising Jon Favreau. So to me, it feels like she's leaving a lot of little nuggets out there. I don't think she's a big part of the movie if she's in it. I think it's just a small cameo, like you said, maybe a little tag on the end to kind of recalibrate and set things up. Because even Favreau, has talked about how his, ideas for the seasons got kind of destroyed when Kathleen Kennedy decided to make changes on him. So that confirms a lot of our reporting and your reporting and stuff from back in the day. Pretty much everything we've said has come out that it's true, right? So here we are now at this position where this movie has to perform for them, or Star Wars is kind of left with a Hail Mary. And I don't mean that just because Ryan Gosling's in the movie, but that's literally all they got after this. Because there is no more Skywalker saga to tell. There's nothing else within any realm of anything that's worth anything as far as anything of popularity. This is the only thing they have with any tested ground, but it's even fallen off in popularity. At least you got Favreau out there saying that you haven't have to have really seen the shows to watch this, which is a plus. I hope that's the truth. I hope maybe there's a little recap for the general audience who hasn't watched this yet. Because otherwise,
previously on Star Wars.
Exactly, because I don't understand otherwise how you're going to tell this story unless it's such off of left field and has nothing to do with much in the show. Because what is it then?
Right. How are we going to introduce these characters if everybody really knows who they are?
Yeah.
And why would you introduce Baby Yoda? I mean, he has nothing to say. Wiz, go ahead, Lord.
That's actually a lot easier than I think you may be thinking it is, because all of the Star Wars spin-off movies, while they don't have an opening crawl, they have something that simulates an opening crawl. Mm-hmm. All they have to do is say, this guy's a Mandalorian bounty hunter working for the New Republic. This is his ward who is following in his footsteps. They're going off to capture Imperial remnant folks.
Do you think they'll do the crawl?
Not a traditional crawl. They'll do the same type that they've been doing with the other spin-offs.
Wiz, the other thing we've got here is Gina Carano made a statement about Kathleen Kennedy. It says, Carano also addressed Kathleen Kennedy, who has since stepped down from her role as president of Lucasfilm. Rather than revisiting old battles, Carano kept it simple. She says, I wish her the best. You never know what somebody else is going through. So very generous, very kind.
Nice.
But yeah, very nice. It seems to me, though, Wiz, that at the same time that Gina is coming back, maybe, kind of, sort of.
It implies that Kathleen Kennedy's going through something too.
Yeah. KK, everything KK wanted is going away, Wiz. I mean, we just did a report on Disneyland the other day. They, they actually listened to the fans and went back and recast and costumed the characters for the original trilogy after people laughed at them. And something's up at Disney. It may be too little too late, but they seem to be going back to George Lucas's vision. A little maybe.
Well, it is too little too late, and it doesn't matter. But the difference here is they're trying to at least put a Snoopy Band-Aid on the ever bleeding out wound that this brand is. They're trying to patch it even just a little bit. Mandalorian and Grogu is like
it's a Flintstone vitamin. Flintstone vitamin for leprosy. I just thought, listen, I love the Snoopy Band-Aid for bleeding out. It's too good.
That's exactly what it is. It's that they're desperate now, but they don't have the internals to actually make a difference or to course correct the amount of damage you would have to undo to try to course correct it. It's not going to happen. What I would say though, to the Gina Carano controversy and the idea that she's meeting with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and might be coming back on board, Gina, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, if they offer you a ton of money, do it. But if without that ton of money, don't touch this. The sky's the limit. Gina, you're bigger than Star Wars. Go be bigger than Star Wars. Whatever they offer you, go do something else somewhere else. Don't get back on the sinking ship. You're better than that.
Tom, I sense skepticism.
You don't need them.
Well, the problem is, Fake Wizard, is that she's not getting the offers, and that's what this whole lawsuit was about. Because I mean, as far as I understood from one of the things she was talking about, she didn't really want to do movies like Terror on the Prairie or whatever the heck it was called. That just happened to be one of the few things she could get her hands on at this point. Her being in Star Wars and basically being seen in a Disney Star Wars production is a sign of her winning. And it seems like all these articles are kind of setting it up, like the nuggets she's dropping. It almost feels like we're leading up to something. Right. I could be wrong. I could be reading too much into it. But to me, it feels like Favreau was like out of the picture. then all of a sudden now it's him and Filoni are in charge of Star Wars all of a sudden, even though Dave Filoni is the one on paper. We all know Dave Filoni can't handle this.
So let me ask this then. Wiz, do you not believe if KK is gone, Disney is playing with the original trilogy and they really feel squeamish about the sequels, and Pedro leaves, and we're starting to hear now Pedro's probably out after this movie. If Gina comes back and these two are gone and the movement is towards, do you not see that would feel like a victory for her maybe?
I think so.
No. Because look at, and this might seem a little silly, but bear with me. Look at the numbers for Daredevil Born Again. We're looking at 4.5 million views for season 2 so far. Okay, so now we're in YouTuber numbers again. Look at Star Trek. We're in YouTuber numbers. YouTubers are now able to compete with $100 million studios. We're competing with Disney.
Well, Gary of Nerdrotic put an action figure of Spock in a chair, and it had better viewership than Starfleet Academy.
So do you know what's going to happen? You're going to have, let's role play this. Pedro leaves. They do Mandalorian and Grogu. Okay, fine. Let's say Pie in the Sky, Gina comes back, and we get Rangers of the New Republic with the lead, Gina Carano. We're already dying out here. The brand is losing viewers. So now you give Gina a show and it underperforms, the trades are going to crucify her with it. And
there is a
that's
danger,
gonna be
yeah.
the death knell of her career. Don't do it. Don't do it unless you're comfortable taking Scrooge McDuck levels of money, and you got to be comfortable knowing this might be the last thing you get. You play this out, play the long game here. It's better for you to play the field right now. Everybody's talking about Gina, and she's kind of, the brand is kind of, the people that were going to hate on her, they're going to hate on her. Let her hate on her. That's fine. But the people in the middle are like, hey, Gina's pretty cool. She's got this fight coming up. Everybody's rooting for her.
It's not a great time to be Rhonda.
Ronda Rousey's the heel of that fight, right? This is big. The worst thing she could do is sign back on to Star Wars. If it's a cameo, it's a cameo. Don't do anything else.
Lauren, you're the Star Wars expert. You're the guru. I give you the final word. This is a very fascinating argument, and I had not thought about what it would do to Gina if she came back for Rangers and it performed poorly. Lauren, what should she do here?
I can't tell her what to do. I can say that my thinking that she is going to come back has been dampened a little bit after I read more of the interview that she had that we were quoting earlier in the week, where she said she had the conversation with Dave and with John. Because when they did come to that question about, are you coming back? Would you come back? And she said, it all depends on the scripts and the director. In the video, it felt to me like she got closed when she said that, as though she's still uncomfortable talking about that. And so if she's just doing a misdirect and she is going to do a cameo, then I think what it is kind of what we suggested before. She's probably not going to be on screen. I'm guessing it'll just be something like a call and you'll hear her voice. And that may explain as well, if it's not Brendan Wayne or Lateef Crowder on the screen, why she would say that she hasn't spoken to Pedro. This story today did surprise me, though, when she said she hadn't spoken to Pedro, because previously she's spoken well of Jon Favreau. She's spoken well of Dave Filoni. She had spoken well of Pedro as well in the past. And I don't think at that time that it was about just selling the marketing for the show. She talked about him as though he was kind of like a brother figure. And so hearing that she hasn't talked to him since Carl Weathers' funeral, that's a surprise to me, and it makes me wonder if there has been a falling out behind the scenes about that.
Well, it didn't even have to be anything more than he just didn't have her back. I mean, that's what I'm saying is, like, maybe they were friendly, but when she realized that he wasn't going to have her back, and when people like Carl Weathers did, yeah. I'm sure that really kind of, because she even said something like along the lines of, it really did show me who these people really were. Sorry, I'm trying to.
Yeah, and obviously they would have some disagreements about ideology because of Pedro's family. And so if it came to light that he was putting some pressure on her behind the scenes, that would also explain it. So I'm less bullish on her now making an appearance in the movie. And even if she did, I don't believe that Rangers of the New Republic is on the table anymore, because John has already said that most of his ideas for that are now transitioned to Ahsoka Season 2.
That's right.
So I think that the
and Lord knows
odds-
we're not recommending she be in Ahsoka season 2 if they offer it. I'm like, no. Gina,
don't do it.
Gina,
No,
listen.
the only win for her at this point is to be in this movie and get her spinoff. Otherwise, I agree. There's no reason for her to even be a part of this.
I agree. And so I think the odds of her appearing have gone down precipitously from when we last talked about this last week. And I think that's going to be kind of a black eye for the movie. I think that this is, that was their one hope to generate some kind of buzz, was the surprise appearance of Gina Carano. And I think that that's also something that is required if Disney wants to fix Star Wars. So I think they're back in kind of a terrible bind.
I would challenge that very, very gently, Lorne, because we know that this movie is made for people who haven't watched the show. You would expect it would be the opposite. You would expect that this show would be for people who actually watched all 3 seasons, but they've already been on the record saying this is for, we want everybody to be able to watch this. So they're expecting you walk in, you know nothing about the Mandalorian, you know nothing about Grogu. So it doesn't matter if she's in it or not. It would be a cameo for people like us and for you guys at home, but otherwise, the movie's going to be told without her.
I think we're actually in agreement here. There's a difference between the casual fans and the diehard hardcore fans. But if you want to revitalize the property, you have to please the diehard hardcore fans. And that's why I think that her returning is crucial to fixing Star Wars, whether or not the casual audience has any idea who she is.
Folks, we'll follow it. Sequel trilogy still has Star Wars in a place that it cannot overcome until it's gone. And Gina, fixing that might be the part that says to a lot of people out there, the KK era is over. We shall see. But I think Wiz made some great points. Might not even be in Gina's favor anymore to come and join in with what Lucasfilm is doing. We'll keep going, folks. But the screwing up from Lucasfilm may just be continuing if they can't grab her for a cameo. Tom is on the run, folks. He's got to get out of here. Tom, it's been fun. Tell the folks out there what you got coming up on Midnight's Edge on the rest of this week. What do you got?
Well, we're working on a Michael video, and I'm sure we'll do a Gina video. Otherwise, we got the morning show on Friday, and that's all I know at this moment in time.
All right. Well, tell Andre we're ready to have you guys come on back for the Pro Show sometime real soon. Love it when you guys are on board, and wish everybody over there a great time. Keep Chatto in line, sir.
I can't do that.
I know. No one can. All right, Tom. We'll catch you real soon, buddy.
Take care.
All right, folks. And then there were 3, but we feel very free to say we got a lot of super chats. Let's get into them. And we hit the goal. Way to go, folks. We appreciate you keeping those hamsters on the wheel. Look at him go. We got Kaylee for 5, a children's book of mine via my grandma from the 80s. Did you misspell black on purpose so this would come through on YouTube? I don't know. Oh, it says yes. So you were not allowed to say the name of this book. The censors come for everything, eventually, regardless of context. Kaylee, I'm so sorry you had to switch that up. Folks, you can go Google that particular book and the character and find out more about it. But yeah, things were a little different back then. Wolf of McGruffle, the crime dog for 501 Pro. When it comes to investing in Wiltcoin, should I or yes? Well, all I can tell you is if Dogecoin can do what it does, and we've got Doge out there somewhere watching, I'm sure, who knows what little troll crypto might do. John for 5, B-O-M-B, bomb, T-O-M-B, tomb, English is haired. Redisaurus for 5. What's the point of Gina coming back to Star Wars now? If anything else, the brand is too mangled for her to make the proper comeback she wants. Could be, might be. What Wiz says, indeed. John for 5. For OG fans, who is left to care about? They killed Luke. They killed Han. Life killed Leia. They're beating 3 dead horses. I'll change to that. With the cuteness of Grogu. That's why the sequel trilogy got to go. And you can't fix it once you pull the plug on it because there's no way to bring those actors back and do what you were supposed to do in the first place. So they missed it. They missed it. But it still has to go. There's no way to make Star Wars work so long as it exists.
The remake's coming.
I would not doubt it. Animated, Wiz, you think?
No. Live action remake.
Whoa.
I'll take that.
Full live action remake.
Lauren, you are a betting man lately. Are you sure you want to do that? Because I'm feeling better and better about Mara Jade being in that Starfighter movie.
Go ahead. Feel good about it. You're wrong.
I'll bet you a chicken sandwich.
Oh, God, no. Don't give him a chicken. Look at those eyes, man. He's seen things.
All right. I'm thinking...
This guy is banned. This guy is banned at 17 Popeyes locations. Wiz, you got to be careful there, buddy.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the date would be, but I'd say within the next 10 years we have a remake.
Oh, I got to wait 10 years for this freaking bet to.
It's not going to happen right away, and we got to wait a whole till next summer for Starfighter.
Nobody's going to listen. The whole world's going to change with AI and people making their own movies in 10 years. I mean, that's 10 years.
All right. 2030. By Christmas of 2030. So that's 4 years now. We've dropped that 60% down.
Okay. I'm hanging in there now. All right. So by 2030, Lauren, if Star Wars is not remade, you get a chicken sandwich.
Bear in mind that there's at least a 2-year development cycle on any movie. So I think you better change it to remaking at least one of the original.
Okay. Whoa. What about even if it's announced? If it's just announced by 2030, right?
Yeah, that's And now
you get a chicken sandwich. All right, Lauren, what's your bet?
So if we find out it's legit, that maybe they haven't officially announced it, but when we find out about it, that counts.
Now, Lauren, before you make the bet with Wiz, I know you got to put something on the table. I want to remind everybody how much you love chicken. And by that, I mean hate chickens. So what Wiz has offered here is not a small thing to you. This is like getting a Lambo. He's offered you Wiz, is this a freshly cooked chicken sandwich?
I don't know. Your choice. You got KFC or
Oh,
Chick-fil-A
my.
or Arby's.
His choice.
So
Yeah.
I guess
Full
what do you
white meat
want?
breast. Okay.
What do you want, Wiz? What can I provide? What would it
I'll go
amuse
with
you?
the chicken sandwich too. I'm not going to argue.
Man after my own heart. That's good.
Yeah, they're both getting a chicken sandwich either way. What is this?
This doesn't need to be like, all right, $1,000 on the table. No, it's
The love and the gravy is flowing as we speak. All right. I hope they both get stuck with giblets for this. John Maynor for $9.99. The only way. Lauren, do you eat giblets?
I do not.
Oh, thank God. John Maynor for $9.99. The only way. That's the one part of the chicken not made to be eaten. It's the only part. You can even eat the eyeballs. There's a way. The only way they can repair the Star Wars brand is if they give all sequel stuff the Willow treatment. They further aboozified Christopher Lloyd in season 3. He should have been Mandalore in that one. Yeah, you get Christopher Lloyd and you do that with him. Here, buddy, be with Lizzo. Tennille the 10th, $2 in, and thank you for the 10th super chat. We're in the year of, I don't know, fudge around and fudge out. I think we're good with that. Fudge around and fudge out, boys and girls. Thank you. And Tennille's back with, again, the 10th super chat. Okay. For 2, alternatively known as been a long time coming. That it has. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap this up with Christian Corralejo out there for 10. If Lucasfilm saw that Clones Ain't Loyal song, but instead of getting mad at it, they do a live performance of it at a May the 4th event, they will not, I promise you. How would you guys react? Also, can Samuel L. Jackson sing in real life? He's not going to do it. He probably can sing. I can guarantee you he can play bass. That's a joke from South Park, by the way. May the 4th, it would be cool if they did it. They're not going to do it. Lauren, you want him to sing Clones Ain't Loyal? You want him to get out there at Disneyland and do it?
I don't want Samuel L. Jackson to do it, but if they actually brought I Am a Jedi to the convention and had him perform it live, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Clones Ain't Loyal. Tennille the 10th for 2. Old joke is old, pro. Tennille, you'll always be the 10th to us. All right. All we are is dust in the wind, unless you're Tennille the 10th, in which case you're always just the 10th in the wind. Douglas Nut for 2, ding around and discover. What does it mean to ding around? Is that like a dinghy? You're going to dingle? I don't know. Anyway, you know what, folks? We got more stories on the way. Well, let's hit it. And Lauren, do you know, are we doing the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you tonight?
I haven't heard. I assume so. That's the normal schedule.
Let's see here. I don't know. Let me ask Culture. Is that a yes or no? Stuff happening as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Culture with the ambiguous answers out there. All right, well let's talk about something that matters to a lot of folks out there who have made their livelihoods be all about going down to Disney. That's right, folks. There are the people out there, some of whom you know, if you follow the YouTubes very much, who they took a trip right on down to the Sunshine State and decided to make their entire career, stake their livelihoods on going through those turnstiles each and every day. And now the House of Mouse just might be taking it away. We'll explain on the other side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. Black screen? No, that's not what we need. This is what we need. Out of the travel. You know, there are some strangely named websites out there, and I run one of those, That Park Place. It's kind of an odd name for a website that covers all kinds of news beyond just the Disney blues. But I got to say, the travel. It's like the science, but it's the travel. TM that, okay? The Travel says by Spencer Bollettieri. I bet I got that right. Bollettieri. Disney World's popular ban on streamers may be enforced sooner than expected. Now, folks, we have covered on That Park Place already that, Disney's considering getting rid of streaming, live streaming in their parks. And that's because they've had some big time issues, including calls for the police and that sort of thing. And so we understand to some degree what they're up to. But this is a lot of advertising. The folks who are in the parks and streaming from the parks and taking super chats to go do whatever it is somebody from their cubicle wants them to do. Now, however, the update is from the travel.com that more might be going on, and we're getting some leaks from inside the company. Let's talk about that. Disney streamers and theme park vloggers could soon be facing new bans and content restrictions, as reports suggest they may be forced to shut off the cameras sooner rather than later, with former Disney cast members warning of stricter enforcement around streaming rules. Fans are beginning to wonder what comes next for their favorite online creators, some of whom we're friends with. Across social media, content creators bring thousands of viewers along each day on park hopping live streams. We love park hopping, covering everything from new attractions to parades and shopping trips. However, whether they're on the ground like Walrus Carp, in the air like Bioreconstruct, or even digging through the archives like Defunct Lands, Kevin Perjurer, not a great name if you go on trial. Theme park content has continued to evolve, and it may soon be the parks themselves shaping what can and can't be shown. Here's what you need to know. According to a former Disney cast member, it's always the former ones that have the juicy stuff, Sweaty Oracle. And there's no better name for somebody with the juicy stuff than Sweaty Oracle. Behind-the-scenes restrictions on streaming are currently being discussed as Disney parks continue to update their guidelines. Known for sharing insights into the theme park industry, the TikTok commentator reports that the potential ban would impact streamers across both Orlando's Walt Disney World and Anaheim Disneyland resorts. We would know that, folks. Otherwise, it's discriminatory, eh? While it would not crack down on all filming, you want mom and pop to, record what happened with the kiddos, then show it to grandma and grandpop and bring them down next time. The purported policy would primarily focus on monetized content. Well, this is different than what I was expecting. I'll explain why. That would include live streamers earning income through ad revenue, viewer donations, or what essentially amounts to live shopping broadcasts from inside the parks. According to Sweaty Oracle, when you buy a ticket to a Disney park, it forbids you essentially from monetizing your visit. Now, that's going to be hard for them to do, I'll say, because, how are they going to go up to you and say, excuse me, are you making money off this stream? Oh, no, it's for free. Okay. I don't know how they would enforce that. I had thought, guys, that they were going to enforce this using equipment bans. Like, you already can't have selfie sticks. They could ban certain types of batteries that these people use to, keep their devices going forever. There are ways to do this. I was not anticipating that they would make it into the policy that you're not allowed to do anything that monetizes your time at Disney, because I don't know how you do that. Wiz, this seems more risky for Disney, and it's also, there are a lot. This is not a few. There are a ton of people who their livelihoods now depend on them walking around the parks, and there are giant channels where there are tens of thousands, even sometimes, people watching the parks.
I don't know why they would do this. There's got to be a good reason, and the first place
let me tell you, Wiz, there was a swatting incident at Disneyland based on one of these streamers.
There it is. I was going to say it's got to be a liability. It's got to be a liability problem. And they're legitimately seeing that the liability outweighs the absolute marketing branding that they've got with these people. I mean, think about it. You have with how the position that Disney is in, the marketing position where everybody's sick of their stuff. The shows aren't getting viewed. People aren't going to the parks as much. Everybody's got problems with Disney. But here you have people that made it their life to give you money, to go to the park, to constantly be advocating for you, to constantly be giving people the idea of, I want to go to there. And you would take that away. That is, wow. That means the lawyers came down and HR and they both said no more.
And they're more desperate than just about anybody for access because that makes the stream work, right? And so if they can get a cupcake, just give us a drink. There's one guy out there. I don't know if you is. There's a guy out there. I think it's Tom Morrow. I could be wrong. I probably shouldn't even say the name. But there was one guy out there. He had some drinks named after him at World Showcase. Those are the kinds of things that if Disney does it, oh my gosh, your stream takes off. Well, that also reciprocally means that these people will say positive stuff about Disney as much as they possibly can because they're making content for people who love the parks more than, definitely more than the people who watch our stuff because we're trying to give a more, I think, neutral view. We talk about the bad, the good, the strikes, the balls, all that kind of stuff. If you're doing streams of, hey, what do you want me to go ride at Disney next? The chances of you being negative about Disney are exceedingly low. It's phenomenal advertising for Disney.
It's going to be really hard to regulate. I mean, it's one thing. Look, in California, Six Flags, which is a weird place to be hyper specific about, but this happened to me. If you're going into some of these parks, they will stop you if you have a gimbal. You could have the little handheld gimbal, which is harmless, and they will stop you. So you can't come in with that. You're not allowed. You can't go in with the selfie sticks. You're not allowed, and that's okay. But I don't know how you're going to stop somebody who's just got their phone out and is recording. They might be FaceTiming with grandma. What are you going to say? You can't be recording here? That's not going to work in Disney.
Right. Are they going to ban people retroactively if they find out, oh, well, you were doing a live stream on our property? Are they going to sue you if they find out that you took a super chat to go ride It's a Small World? Like, this is a strange place to be.
And you can't even elevate it to be like, all right, well, if something happens and we get swatted, you can't even change it to be like, well, the streamers have held accountable, because then that's just going to incentivize bad actors to cause more swatting.
Right. When you could just do something where the police in the area, you would think Disney's, well known with those stations. Disney might say, hey, if you get a call about this, check with us first before you send everybody. Like, there's a pretty good chance we're going to tell you. And yet so what makes me wonder is, do they feel like this is their time? And we've talked about this before. Lauren, I'll go to you on this one. I wonder, is Disney going to roll out some sort of press entry pass that costs more, where you can monetize, where you can stream from the parks, but you got to get approved and you got to pay some sort of fee to Disney to get to do this thing?
Well, my first thought on this was that they don't want people live streaming unless they're on their payroll. It was my first thought with this. But I think they're probably just reacting to this situation where there was a swatting incident. I think that Wizard's right, that they had lawyers and HR suddenly get really concerned about this. They're starting to hand down policy. If they do set this policy, I expect it'll be very short-lived, because as Wizard correctly pointed out, this is a gold mine in free advertising for them. And if they do implement these policies and get who have been their fans turned on them, that's a bad thing to start with, and this will only redound to Universal's benefit. So I would expect Universal to then start saying, hey guys, you want to cover a park? We'll give some of you guys some, and this would also lead to shield type behavior, but how'd you like some free passes to the park to get some recordings? Who's going to turn down that offer? Because if your livelihood is based on this, and you suddenly can't go to the main park that you've been going to, if somebody offers you the opportunity to cover another park that's more friendly to you, you'll take it to save your livelihood.
Well, and just think about the negativity. I mean, oh my gosh, if this really is the plan, imagine the articles that are going to come out from people who say, I moved to Disney. I gave them everything, and they took it away, and now I'm bankrupt, and I can't even afford a ticket back home. That's the kind of stuff that, in mass, they'll have dozens and dozens of these stories if they pull this, because for so many of these people, they turned this into a career and seemingly were encouraged to do so by the policies that allowed them to go in there with their cameras and gimbals, etc.
Let me jump back to your question as to whether Disney would sell something like a press pass. I think that would be a bad idea because that sounds like you're paying for access. But on the other hand, it may lead to more honest coverage because now you're actually paying for the park. Presumably, I hope most of these people already are, but if they're not, well, now you've got some skin in the game, and it might lead you to be a little more honest about what the experience is.
It could. There's the other question, too, of when we're looking at content creation surrounding Disney and these other places, what is in it for Disney? Because this is free content, right? So why destroy positive free content? It's hard to advertise the parks. It's hard to advertise your movies. And this goes to also, I think they made a fundamental mistake when they won't let us play their trailers and talk about their trailers and those kinds of things. I don't understand the relationship they have with the new media. They have the opportunity to have people out there just making stuff for them if they'll allow it. So why not allow it, guys?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how they would restrict that. Lauren, I like the idea of a kind of an access badge, but I also like the idea of influencers having to pay for it because then it's their responsibility. Then they're verified. It's not an access point where it's like, oh, well, we only give it to certain people. It's like, no, it's paid for and it's very expensive. I mean, do you think that would work?
I don't know. It depends on what the reaction from those streamers would be. Would they see this as a betrayal? I don't know. Now, I guess it also raises the question of, let's say that you're doing something like this, and you're offering what we're going to call a press pass for a large amount of money so that you can get in the gate. Do they then offer special stuff like behind the scenes ability to record and talking with Imagineers and people who work in the parks to get interviews? Do you get perks? And if so, does the audience view that as special treatment that's coloring your reporting? Once you get money involved with this, I think that it becomes awkward trying to determine, are you being honest in your coverage or are you being a shill?
And it gets difficult too because, okay, did you get paid for super chats? Or do you have memberships that just kind of exist, and so you're here at the parks because your members wanted you to go to this park, but there's no direct payment. It's based on, subscriptions. This gets really, really complicated. And if I'm Disney, I don't want to be involved in any of it. But streamers, beware, because the House of Mouse just might be kicking you on your derriere after you spent all that money, all that effort, and all that time to get equipped and to be there at the House of Mouse every time the turnstiles are moving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are finding out that things are about to get real wild at Walt Disney World. And why? Well, Fox News is covering this. It says Disney World guest allegedly grabbed employee during character photo line, gets lifetime ban from the parks, but it's the character that matters. Hey, Fox News, work on the headlines, because if you had put the right character in here, people would know this was not just any employee. This is not Jane the janitor, although we love our custodians at Disney World and Disneyland. Don't for a second mistake that. But wait till you hear who it was. Diego Rodriguez was arrested on battery charges and issued a lifetime trespass notice. Bouncing around, Fox News, what are you trying to do to me? Issued a lifetime trespass notice by Orange County Sheriff's Office. Now, I bring up the Fox News article because I want people to know this has made it to the mainstream, but I will go to WDW News Today. They're huge fans of us, I promise. Maybe. No, not. They're not. Anyway, WDW News Today has this by Alice Kennedy. Guest assaulted Mirabelle. What the? Poor little Mirabelle. I mean, even Cinderella can defend herself better than Mirabelle. She got no powers. Cinderella's got mice and crap. She's got pumpkins. She's got shiny, pointy shoes. Mirabelle got nothing. Who in their right mind would go after poor, sweet little Mirabelle? Like attacking Minnie Mouse. It's not right. arrested and banned from the parks. Alice Kennedy has this sordid story. There's Bruno. Where was Bruno? Bruno, did you help Mirabelle? It says a guest assaulted a cast member while trying to meet Mirabelle. I didn't just assault a cast member. It was Mirabelle. He was arrested and banned from the parks. Here's what we know, folks. There she is. We don't know if it was that actress or another one, but it says the man, Diego Rodriguez, attempted to cut in line several times while waiting to meet Mirabelle. The incident occurred on April 21st. Abril, as they call it in Encanto. And a cast member repeatedly told him that he was not allowed to do so. Rodriguez was also with a female guest and a child. According to the New York Post, the child then repeatedly tried to run off to meet Mirabelle, but was stopped by the attendant. And the mother also tried to get Mirabelle to sign the autograph book. They were informed that Mirabelle was only taking photos at that time. At this point, the female guest waved the book, not the good book, but the autograph book, in Mirabelle's face, and Rodriguez allegedly grabbed the arm of an attendant and shook her. He also verbally assaulted the attendant and Mirabelle. Reports say the male guest lunged at Mirabelle, shouting, "Why? Why can everyone take a picture but us?" Other cast members stepped in. Police officers were called to the scene. He was arrested and held on battery charges at the Orange County Police Department, where they took him not to the casita, but to the big house. It says Mirabelle, by the way, that's called a casissimo. When Mirabelle does not have a traditional meet and greet at Epcot, she is part of the Celebración Encanto show in the park. She's just there to dance the day away, folks. She's just there to dance the day away. I know it's kind of a funny story, but I did find this interesting, guys, that the headlines kind of missed this. I mean, this guy verbally assaulted poor little Mirabelle, whoever's playing the actress. And I have noticed, too, recently that there's this trend on TikTok and Instagram that we don't recommend. Nobody should do this, of people going up and trying to make the princesses and the young ladies playing these characters feel uncomfortable. So maybe this is why they're kicking. It's not why they're trying to kick out the streamers. The streamers know better than this. Guys, what do you think about the idea that we're now living in a world where even playing Mirabelle, even little Mirabelle has to watch out? I mean, what's next? Wendy needs Peter Pan to get in between her and the guests?
This is a rough one because this is the reality. I can only imagine how often this happens on the regular and we don't hear about it. This one just got a little more heated than most do. People are unruly nowadays, more unruly than they have been in years past. And
they're weird.
Consider the cost going into it. Like there's people that go to this jacking up their credit cards, and that has them on edge. Now, that's not an excuse. I'm just trying to give the positioning. Like, what's the mindset of somebody in other than being, words that I wouldn't use to describe on this channel, because they're not nice words.
Turd wagons. Turd wagons, whiz.
Turd wagons. Other than being turd wagons, you have to think, what's the mindset of people that are doing this? Well, some people are not happy, and it's rough. And so they take it out on others, and that's not very nice. And in this case, yeah, they take it out on cast members. I've heard horror stories myself. Like it happens on the regular.
Wiz, I have heard. I mean, this has got to be worse, right? We know that. But I have heard that some of the princess actors are hit upon by dads.
Yes, that is a regular thing that happens. I would also point out there is quite a few women and moms that hit on the male characters. So
can I just say,
it's both ways.
If you have a child meeting a prince or princess and you decide to hit upon said prince or princess, that is probably not a turn on to them. I have this feeling that if you're like, "Here, sweetie, meet Cinderella." "Ooh, I like how you're looking, Cindy." I got a feeling that that's not going to work out for you in any way whatsoever. Not going to work. Nothing fun is going to come of that later on. Lauren seems skeptical. Lauren's like, "I don't know. This seems like a winning strategy."
No, that's not what I was thinking. It's just the whole story is sad and weird, and I think that Fake is right on the money with saying people are under a little more pressure these days than I think that they have been in past decades, and the amount of money that you're spending in these parks gives you a sense of entitlement that I don't think used to exist. People are spending irresponsible amounts of money to go on these vacations and to buy the merchandise and to stay at the hotels. And I think a lot of people who view it as a lifestyle are not really being rational with how they're spending that money. And there's got to be some cognitive dissonance going on there, and that leads to this kind of behavior, in my opinion. I'm guessing that's what this is. But it's just a sad situation all the way around. Nobody should be assaulting cast members or verbally getting in people's face in the parks. That's just, it's not good behavior, and it's not going to lead to a good outcome.
Darn it, I want to go back to the days when the worst thing we had to read about was kids kicking the shins of the pigs. You know? Those poor, poor little pigs getting kicked in the shins. That was right in the bacon, some of them. But, you know, now here we are. Here we are, leaving Mirabelle shaken. And, you know, let me throw this at you guys as we wrap this one up. I know this is kind of one of those stories where we want to cover it, and it would be easy to make a mockery of it, but we shouldn't, because this was unkind and untoward, and cast members should be taken care of. But I do wonder, in the age of the internet and the age of social media, also how much people are trying to get a rise out of the cast members so they can throw it up on TikTok or Instagram. You know, how many times are people doing things to throw a cast member off their game? You know, make Snow White not be nice, that kind of thing. Oh, yes, I know it's not Zegler, okay? They're real people. These are nice people, the cast members. But, you know, to try to get something that'll be trending. And so cast members have to be on their toes more than ever before because of that angle as well.
I think that could be part of it, but and absolutely that happens. Yeah, we know that would happen, but I think the majority of it is entitled people that are just not very nice, and this is the kind of place that brings a lot of those people out. And that's just a shame. That's just the way it is. Yeah, some people try, but what's so sick about what you just said, Pro, is that if these people break, I mean, if the characters break,
they're fired.
If the actors break character, they lose their job insteontaneously.
Yep.
It could
if they get too popular, Wiz. If people start filming them repeatedly, this happened to the Evil Queen. If they're too popular and they start trending, they're fired.
Because you're not there to be you, the actor. You are there, the character, and the character needs to be everybody. So it can't just be you. People can't like you, which is funny because I believe the opposite is true at Universal. You know, we have the Grinch, and that guy who plays the Grinch got very famous with how, you know, he was bilingual and able to communicate with the kids, which is what this should be. Like, that's a good thing. That you want to go and see that in the park. You would think again that this would be good marketing, but no. No, so Disney doesn't have your back if you're the cast member there, and the people attending don't exactly have your back either. It's rough.
In the many times, some would say thousands of times, that you have taken to the stage or you have been there to greet others, has anyone ever been a little bit too in your bubble? Has it ever happened to you, Wiz? Have you ever had a Mirabelle moment?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say anything close to the horror stories that I've heard from Disney cast members that I know personally.
How did you handle it, Wiz, when the person said, "You're going to hug me and I'm going to hug you and I don't care. You give me the darn hug, Wiz. I need a magical fake hug."
See, for me, the reality that you just go deeper into the crevasse. You know, they want you to have that.
Easy, Wiz. Easy. Don't put them there.
Hey, it's.
Keep them out of your crevasses.
You got it. I've always.
We lost Lord. You guys did so good at this segment. We were so mature.
Well, you gotta go deeper into the crevasse and just
put
on
don't.
the best show you can.
No, you don't, Wiz. Keep them out of that.
Well, it's all about keeping that, because somebody's gonna walk away. Okay, take the jokes out of it. Somebody's gonna walk away, and they gotta have. You want them to walk away having the best experience.
Absolutely.
Because they're not on the same mental playing field you might be. You want people to walk away having said, "I met that person. I had a great time." They'll remember it forever. And so I always play it like that as much as I can.
And the good news is, you know, for you, I mean, Mirabelle is probably played by a 5'0" actress, you know, 5'1", 5'2", and you're what, 6'12", or I don't know. They call it 7 feet these days.
I'm 6'4", so I'm not really worried about anybody.
Broad shoulders, muscles, he makes Culture feel like he's, he's not man enough. No, Culture's ripped. Deep down below the beard. Totally ripped. All right, Lauren, you want the final word, or are you good to go on this one?
Lauren's going to go
Speechless.
deeper into the crevasse.
Completely speechless, left deep in that crevasse.
I don't really have any additional thoughts to add. I think that we've covered it pretty well. It's just a sad situation, and so I hope that maybe in the future people will behave a little more rationally. Unlikely, but it's a hope.
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Now, ascend, my son.
Wear clothes.
Oop, almost forgot that one.
I played that last one because I have desperately waited for the moment when we could play that clip and it would make sense. When I was designing out the clips for the show, like years ago, I thought, well, we're going to cover stuff, and there's going to be some woman in, a movie that's not dressed, completely, and boy, we'll get a lot of fun out of that clip. Boy, that's going to be funny. It's going to be so contextual.
Wear clothes.
Oop, almost forgot that one.
Nope. Never get to play it. It never comes, it never happens. A dream. A dream is where the heart is. Kaylee from 2. I heard Chuck Norris didn't like Clones Ain't Loyal. If that were true, you wouldn't be watching it. Tennille the 10th for 2. LOL, love you too, pro. I love you 10 times more. And then we've got Snarky Distinct Nugget for $4.99. If they shut down content creators exploring the experiences, it will backfire to the BIG. Indeed. England DG for 2. I'm going to short cupcake stocks. Wish me luck. Cupcakes, man, and the little fuzzy beverages with umbrellas is what they're all about. England DG for 2. 2010, one of my Disney vids. A kid kicked push. You talking about the trash can? You watched a kid kick that? Don't let them kick the walking, moving, talking trash can. Don't let them do that. You keep push safe from the meanies. Snark's out there. He would do it. He would defend push the trash can for $4.99. I support significant bans for justified reasons, not politics, on either side. Indeedly doodly. And we've got England DG again for 5. I was Chuck E. Cheese for years. I've been waiting for you to tell this. I've been waiting for somebody to finally say I was the big cheese. And here we are. Ball hits happened. You mean in the ball pit? You mean like kids were jumping, sliding? Hang on a second. Yeah, Jonas, you're up this late? Yeah, you want to send me a... Oh. Folks, sorry, Jonas just sent me a message into the headset. This is talking about cheese balls. I was also a pro hockey mascot for a while, and drunk middle-aged women were very friendly. Yeah, especially if they had a lot to drink. Keep them away from the cheese balls. We've got Silent Watcher for 5. Congratulations, Lauren. You put me in the mood for KFC or Chick-fil-A. Depending on which time zone you're in, neither of which is open currently. If you are in Alaska or Hawaii, your chances still exist. Get over and get your wish. The Colonel's Brown Gravy and the Chick-fil-A Deluxe are available to you. Lauren, we hit the Super Chat goal. It is, of course, that you will describe your true feelings up until now, ever withheld. But now, Lauren, it is upon you. You must tell the folks out there how you truly feel about chickens. Before you do, Lauren, there's a video we need to play. Folks, we'll preempt what Lauren has to say with, I think, a deep dive into the mind of poultry.
The enormity of their flat brain, the enormity of their stupidity is just overwhelming. You have to do yourself a favor. When you're out in the countryside and you see chicken, try to look a chicken in the eye with great intensity. And the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing. By the way, it's very easy to hypnotize a chicken. They're very prone to hypnosis. And in 1 or 2 films I've actually shown that.
Lauren, you ever hypnotized a chicken?
Of their flat brain.
I have not, but it is true. It is very easy to hypnotize a chicken. And I just want to say I love Werner Herzog, and I just love the idea that there's this clip out there that is titled Werner Herzog on chickens.
You should hear what he says on Peafowl. It's amazing.
I hope there's an entire series where it's just Werner Herzog on any random thing. It's like Werner Herzog on English
Zebras.
comfrey for, it's like for Culture's Gardening Channel or Werner Herzog on, I don't know.
Let me tell you
82
something
Ford
about
Granadas.
Let me tell you something about Dachshunds. Their brains are behind their snouts in a way that when they take a big sniff, it actually affects their neurons. I've shown this in many films. They will fall flat on the floor if you put garlic up their nose.
Okay, but his master class that he did was fantastic.
What was it on?
On filmmaking. He did a whole master class on filmmaking, and the storyboard is the tool of the cowards. I'm like, this is great.
Did he sidebar on chickens at all, Wiz? Did he take 5 minutes to say, is there something I need to talk about? No chickens, okay.
But it was a good lecture series for sure.
Werner Herzog on kumquats. You do not know a more useless fruit in the world than kumquats.
He is just a mad genius, and it's always entertaining whenever he's speaking. So I love that this clip exists. You're asking me to describe my true feelings on chickens, and while we play up the comedic bits about me hating them, I'm actually not really joking about the fact that I think they probably do whisper about me in their coops, because I do eat a truly enormous amount of chicken. And what I want to tell the audience, for those who are curious, is that in that new clip that he's created, where it's got me pushing the shopping cart down the aisle with the cart laden with chickens,
I was inspired.
That's in there because I sent him a real photo showing that very thing. Pro was surprised after my last trip when we got there just how much chicken I ate and how many chicken restaurants I asked about while we were there. And I think there was probably in his mind the idea that I was putting him on a little bit.
I became worried when you pulled out a notepad and you had written down the chicken restaurants that exist in Florida that don't exist in Washington State. And you were like, we're checking all these off. I've got to see every place and find out how they prepare their chickens.
The funny thing is that Sean is saying, but oddly, Lauren hates eggs. That's actually true. I don't eat eggs.
What is wrong with you, man?
I'll use them in other things that I never like.
Eggs are delicious.
I can't help you.
Next time. Okay, Lauren, I'm taking you to a place that has fried deviled eggs. Have I already taken you there?
You won't get me to eat them.
Oh, they've got little jalapenos in them.
Why?
I know. It's just not my thing.
They're delicious.
Never liked eggs.
Oh, boy.
Can't help it.
Very picky.
I'm telling you, though, it's like I sent Pro this picture of the cart laden with chicken. I sent him a picture of my freezer that was completely full of chicken. I love chicken in so many things, but my very favorite is chicken strips. I love all kinds of different recipes for chicken strips. I put it in jambalaya. I put it in chicken sauce piquant. You throw chicken in salads, soups. Oh my gosh. I love making homemade chicken noodle soup. There is a Greek lemon chicken noodle soup that is just absolutely fantastic. For me, it is the staple food item. If I had only one thing to live on for the rest of my life, it would probably be chicken. So that's where it all comes from. I don't truly hate them, but as many of them as I eat, they would probably think that I do.
Lauren, I have to say I'm a little disappointed.
Because?
Well, you see, knowing your hatred for chickens, I really did believe that there was some sort of, I had this view that maybe
there was some
it might go up
backstory.
Well, it might go against, even like biblical commandments, but I just had this view of you taking a chicken and just cooking it in its own egg, right? That it laid an hour before and laughing hysterically as you.
Well, there is egg involved in the breading for the chicken strips.
I knew it.
So
I knew it.
That does kind of apply. But no, seriously, it's like I remember when I was a little kid, it blew my mind one time going to a birthday party because I was really little, and I remember this kid's dad was asking what we all wanted for dinner that night, and I happened to mention that I loved chicken strips. But I was thinking of like restaurant-style chicken strips, and I thought there's no way that he could make those. And he said, "Oh yeah, I could do that." And I thought that was the most amazing thing, because he did. He just took chicken breasts and sliced them into strips and made the batter and the breading and everything. And in my mind, as a little kid, you couldn't do that at home. How could he was like a wizard, so from then on, it's like I just got really interested in the idea that if you really do want to learn how to do this stuff, it's not magic. You can't just get it at the restaurant. You can learn how to make all of this stuff. So
I don't know. I think a perfectly cooked chicken, and not living chicken, is magic, Lauren.
Sure.
Snarky the Stink Nugget is wrapping it up for us tonight. And by the way, folks, we would like recommendations for redirects. It turns out that the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and You is not happening as previously scheduled. So if you have a recommendation for where we should redirect, please let us know. I was going to send you on over to Derek Anderson as well, but it doesn't look like the DA is happening tonight. So I got to have a recommendation. Who are we going to surprise? Who are we going to help out tonight and send a big raid to them? Pick a channel that you think deserves it, and we'll do that. Snarky for $4.99. I support apolitical entertainment and gaming. I support ownership. Take your ownership back.
Yes.
What is it we say? The mainstream middle, the sensible center where money is made. All right, folks, forget not that it will be, couple of weeks? Yeah, that's Wiz's.
What do we say?
Deep philosophy, and Wiz says, cancel Disney Plus. Folks, it will not be long now until I go on camera, and we'll be doing a face reveal, studio reveal, that whole deal. It's not because I choose to, it's not because I want to, but it's because we got to keep the channel safe. You all know what's happening. You've seen what went down with Jay, Drunk 3PO, and so many of our friends out there, and we're working to help them get their channels back again, really and truly behind the scenes. But we've got to protect the folks out there who depend, their livelihoods depend on this channel and other channels, because it is more than just me. It's a full team. And so I'll be going on camera soon. We're working on getting the studio completely finished before we do so, but just be aware, we'll have a lot of fun with that when it comes time, and we'll make a good time out of it. The other reminder is next Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, come for the charity stream, Wilton's Legacy, where he gets his little legs, and we will donate to a wonderful cause. I think you all will be quite pleased with who we're going to send the donations to. It's someone deeply deserving. Michelle Marshall is out there for $4.99. OMG, fried deviled eggs sounds amazing. I am an eggs, chicken, and fish person. Sounds good to me. Add a little steak, and I'm right there. Add a little steak, and I'm right there. Lauren, you really don't like deviled eggs?
I don't. My son does. Now, you did actually take us to that restaurant. We got my son the fried deviled eggs. He also wasn't a fan, though. You want to see a picky eater? Let me introduce you to my son. He didn't like the fact that they were fried, but he'll make deviled eggs all day long and consume a lot of them. Stinks up my kitchen. So
you don't like the smell of deviled eggs?
Nope.
Interesting. I'm not sure you hate chickens. I mean, if you really hated chickens, you would want to eliminate them at the very beginning, the start of the process.
Well, I just confessed it's not really a hatred thing. It's more just I love chicken. I love the taste of chicken. There's so many things you can do with chicken. And
No. Wait a minute. I figured it out. Bring on Yellow Flash for double face reveal. I just figured it out, Lauren. The eggs we eat are not the eggs that are going to have chicks. So it's not actually going to ever develop into a chicken. So therefore, your backstory is you don't eat eggs because it's just a misdirect from the poultry. They're tricking us. They're filling our bellies with their semi-reproductive, but not truly decoy spring. Fair enough?
Does that imply if you accidentally get a fertilized egg with a chick in it that I would be inclined to eat it?
Well, of course you would. I know you.
The shadow grows. We must act. The enemy has found the roost. Our arrows are ready, but we need a plan. Then we fly to Mordor. Flock for the plan. By the line of roost. Take that, you brave. What have they done?
Mountains whisper tales of fire and frost. Shadows rise where the borders are lost. Through the woods where the ancient ones sing, I hear the call of the elder ring. One sword to guide me, one heart to bind me through snow and flame, through night and sky.
You're out in the countryside and you see chicken. Try to look a chicken in the eye with great intensity. And the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing.